Hello and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the chain rule. Now, there is always a fuss about this chain rule that it is very hard and complicated, but I don't really understand all the fuss about it because it is basically the same thing as a power of a function rule, which we did 2 lessons ago, but it is just explained in a different manner. So let's go through this and let me tell you when and how is the chain rule used. A chain rule is used to find the derivative of a composite function. Now, what is a composite function? A composite function is a function within another function. So as you can see, I've given you the definition over here, which is given two functions f and g. The composite function can be written like this, is defined by f dot g of x equals to f of g of x. So that means you're plugging in g of x inside the f of x function. So I'm going to give you an example and make it simpler. So let's say we have the function f of x equals to x squared. And let's take another function and we're going to define it g of x, which is going to be x plus 4. So if I have to write the composite function f dot g of x, for that I have to plug in the g of x function into the f of x function. So this is basically the same thing as f of g of x. So that is going to be x plus 4 whole square. Now we also have to keep in mind that f dot g is not equal to g dot f. Why? Because when you plug in g of x into f of x, it is not the same as plugging in f of x into g of x. So I'm going to show you. So over here we have g of x plugged in into f of x. So I'm going to do the opposite now. So if I plug in f of x, which is x squared, into this x, I'm going to simply have g of f of x gonna be x squared plus 4. So you see, this and this is not the same thing. So that is what a composite function is. It is a function within another function. And when we find the derivative of a composite function, we use the chain rule, or what we learned before called the power of a function rule. So you can see the chain rule is defined by saying if f and g are functions that have derivatives, then the composite function h of x equals to f of g of x has a derivative given by this. Now what does this say? This says that find the derivative of the first function first and then multiply the derivative of the inside function, which is the same thing as before. So if we take the example that we did on top over here, so let's take this one, f of g of x. So let's find the derivative of that. F g of x is gonna be x plus 4 whole square. Now to find the derivative, we simply assume that the inside function can be another variable. So let's take g of x separately. So g of x is going to be x plus 4. So we can find the derivative by using our simple power rule. We bring the 2 and g of x stays the same. And 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. So you don't really need to write that. Times the derivative of inside. Now what is the derivative of inside? The derivative of g of x. Now that is going to be just 1. So we end up having 2x plus 4. you can obviously simplify this. It's going to be 2x plus 8. Now that's a simple example. Let me show you another one where the function is y equals to x squared minus 5 to the power 7. And they asked us to find dy over dx. Now dy over dx is just another way of writing the y prime. So basically, they asked us to find the derivative. Now the inner function, let us define that g of x to be x squared minus 5. And the outer function will be x to the power 7, where x is the g of x. So to find the derivative of f prime x, it's going to be 7x6. But we have to remember that x is g of x. So we have that part. And then we multiply the derivative of g of x, so that is going to be 2x in this case. So you can see we end up having 14x bracket x squared minus 5 to the power 6. So that's basically chain rule. We don't really have to complicate it too much. It is the same thing as the power of a function rule. It is used when we find the derivative of a function within another function. So that's pretty much it. I know this is a short lesson. I kept it short so that you guys do not have too much information to sink in. So I hope you guys understand this, and I'll see you in the next lesson.